is up, everybody? Welcome to the Cinema Asylum podcast. I am Matthew, one of the superhero and sci-fi experts.
I'm Garrett. I'm the Indian drama expert.
I'm John Thompson, the action and animation expert.
I'm Dylan, the other superhero and sci-fi expert.
Today we are reviewing Marvel Studios' latest movie, The
Thunderbolts!
The Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts!
Get on that. Get on that Wheaties box. Yep.
Have you guys seen the Wheaties box at the store?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Not yet. No, I
Yeah, I
haven't
found
been
one.
in stores yet.
That is great marketing.
It is. But
Isn't it,
yeah,
aren't they selling it for like $20 or something like that? Like
I
the
don't know.
box?
I didn't look
no,
at the
they
price.
have
I
like
didn't
a
look at
regular
the price
cereal
tag.
box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have like a regular cereal box that you could just get in the cereal aisle.
Fucking do that then.
Yeah.
What the hell? Yeah, because I know that they're selling versions of the Wheaties box for $20 online. Like
no,
it's
these
just a
is
box.
like just regular cereal box.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk.
I've
about
actually
this movie.
never had Wheaties in my entire life.
I've
I've
had it
never
once.
eaten them
I never had Wheaties in my life either.
I've
because
had
they
Frosted
just
Wheaties.
they just sound really generic
Yeah.
to me. Like if I had to choose between those and like Frosted Flakes, obviously the
It's
go-to
Frosted Flakes.
choice would be.
I'm not much of a flakes guy anyway.
Generics.
Yeah, I don't really eat flakes anymore, but
Okay, gotcha.
Generic like a dime store Captain America.
true.
Hey.
Do we have trivia in this?
We'll save it for the next episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so before we get started, spoilers,
Yes,
of course. If
spoiler
you have
warning.
not seen Thunderbolts, and if you haven't seen it, you should. It's awesome. Go see it for yourself.
Wow, way to spoil your thoughts.
He said spoilers first. So.
Exactly. But I'm
Um,
pretty sure all of us going to have an agreement on the film, but
I think so.
yeah. So who wants to go first?
Anybody, I don't care.
So we're gonna start non-spoiler first. We'll
Yes.
warn you. So yeah, who you want to go first? You were really excited for this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
I could
um,
tell.
Yeah, go
So
for it.
this
Lead
is
it.
this was on print Marvel Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
That's essentially what
basically.
it is on print.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it to be as deep as it is.
it is. This is basically like
A commentary on depression.
and mental health and like that's there from like the first shot of the movie, pretty
Yeah.
much. The opening scene of this movie, let's just get that started, is fantastic.
Yelena jumping off the second tallest
It's a
building in the
great
world.
stunt. She actually did it
Yes.
behind the scenes. She actually did it like no green screen.
Right.
Um,
She had to fight Disney for it. They're like, "You're not doing this." She's like, "Yes, I am." No, you're not.
I
I
mean,
was,
they
am.
let-
I was unaware of that.
I mean, they let Christian Bale do it in The Dark Knight on that tall ass building in Hong Kong. Yeah. So I don't get like that stunt has been done before. I'm not
Disney's
sure
intro
why.
Might be done different.
Whatever.
But yeah,
Thanks,
that was a
Disney.
cool shot.
yeah,
And
I was
do-
unaware.
You guys know I like Man of Steel and stuff. I love the color grading in this.
Yes,
It's very
I'm very critical on how Marvel color grades their movies.
Yes.
Usually, it actually made this one actually made sense. It's dark, it is gray, but it's not. It feels like it was done on purpose and not like they just didn't really care about the color grading. Like
Yeah.
Civil War, in my opinion, is like a big offender with me because most of that movie looks gray and it really didn't have to. This one, there's nice contrast in most of the shots. There's a lot of great shots in this movie in general.
Yes.
Like one of my favorite shots in the movie is in the opening scene where Yelena's fighting through that hallway, and it's like
The one
it's shot
fight
from the
scene.
it's shot from like it's like a bird's eye shot, and there's shadows cast on the floor and everything. It's just right from that, it was like, okay, they're really. You can tell that there was artistry behind this movie.
Yeah.
Well, as they said from the trailer, absolute cinema.
Yeah. This has the DP of the Green Knight attached to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and a lot of A24.
Yep.
A lot of A24 talent behind this. So
And I want to say this real quickly. At least we figure out the plot hole why Bucky made a cameo in Captain America: Brave New World. So at least the plot hole was out of the way.
There-
What?
The whole thing is the MCU's kind of been like wishy-washy in the direction it's been going.
because there's been
Yeah.
like such a big lack of continuity for
Yeah.
like 6 years.
And this really cemented all of it.
Yeah, I feel like Brave New World, I felt was like basically kind of like they were really trying to course correct and like connect things really quickly,
Yeah.
and that kind of led to problems with that movie for me.
This was
Now
natural.
this one felt way more natural, and they
Yes.
still do connect it to Brave New World in
Yeah.
a few
Yeah.
parts. So
So at least you got your questions answered. So that's good.
And it connects to other films in and post Endgame.
right.
Like,
Yes.
Black Widow, Falcon Winter Soldier, the Disney Plus series.
But in terms of how I actually think as long as you've seen Black Widow and as long as you've seen Black Widow, I feel like that's the film that's most important before you see this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you won't be totally lost if you haven't seen like the Disney Plus shows because I mean
kinda
they
catch you
explain
up, Yeah.
they do explain enough about John Walker's backstory, and of the Disney Plus shows that I feel like are pretty essential, the only one I'd say really is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
That's probably the only other one. But yeah, I feel like the movie did enough building to where most general audiences will not be totally lost when they see this. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
they really did a good job with that. Let,
He was a little bit better in this movie, but I still think it stands out the most that in the MCU, John is a tool.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why are you using me in it? Why?
we're going off the deep end already.
That made no sense, dude.
I've been planning that since Thursday night.
Jeez.
Well, why though? I don't get it, dude. Oh, make that joke make sense. Jesus Christ.
Wow. Anyway, back to Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
We're sorry you had to hear his terrible jokes, guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
this
good?
was a very well shot movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Everything was on par. Like, because like going back to the color grading a bit, Marvel usually goes for as natural as possible. Like,
Yeah,
They
to the
don't-
point where it's like it doesn't have any kind of personality.
I'd say it's
Um,
realistic, not artistic.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Patrick. There's a YouTube video about the color grading at Marvel and why it's it's lacking in so many Marvel movies. I think Patrick Willems did that video. This was a video that came out years ago, even before. I think it was before Infinity War came out.
Oh wow.
And he was talking about Civil War, and he was talking about the real lack of color grading, it seemed, and it's weird. And he brought up a point. It was like a lot of older comic books. The reason why they are so appealing and stand out so much is because of the ink, like
Yes.
the illustrations,
How stylized it
how
is.
stylized with the ink and everything. There was a period, and he brings this up in the video, where Marvel tried to do this weird thing where they they barely used any ink on the illustrations, and it just looked really weird and kind of washed out, and it didn't really stand out like the old comics did.
Right.
And that's I think that was a good comparison to what the MCU does with its cinematography and its color grading.
Yeah. It's very basic.
But this totally worked for me.
Yes.
I think everything visually worked pretty well. The design of the Void in this movie
Yeah.
is perfect.
It's
And we're not gonna get into who it is yet
Mm.
because the trailers I don't think do.
no.
But you probably know. You
Yeah,
could
well,
probably guess who it is.
John had
um,
no clue. He was like, "It can't be."
But that
Still surprised
it's
me.
so simplistic, the design of that character in the
Yeah.
film, and the way his powers work is kind of terrifying.
It is.
And the little tiny white dots for the eyes on the Void, just I think really
it's
do
so
work.
creepy.
It is creepy.
Yeah.
When he first started using his powers, I told John, I was like, "I think I have to put it turn into a horror movie." He's like, "No." 45 seconds later, he's like, "Yeah, you're right."
Mhm.
But what I was going to say, that was my big nitpick with Captain America Brave New World was the villain, was that he wasn't Nemesis enough.
Yeah.
He was
Menace.
menacing, sorry. He was very menacing in this
Yes,
movie.
he was.
I mean, a great villain.
Well, there's
Fantastic.
technically a couple villains in the film. Each.
That's true. Yeah.
Madam Hydra.
Yeah. What's her name
Valentina.
again? Valentina.
Yeah, that's Madam
Julia
Hydra, yeah.
Julie Louis Dreyfus.
Yeah.
Who honestly, I really enjoyed this film a lot. Like
Yes.
a lot more than I thought I would, and it definitely is. In this post-Endgame phase, it is probably my second favorite MCU movie. Behind Guardians 3, I'd say is my favorite.
I agree.
Obviously, No Way Home. Honestly, yeah, I'd say this is my second favorite because of
It's actually my third favorite.
yeah. I really do think this felt more like the Marvel that I kind of missed from
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
before 2020 phase, where they felt like they were. This felt like it still had. And the thing that worried me about this movie was the comedy by the trailers, but the comedy in this did not bother me at all.
It was not
I
forced
actually,
at all.
No.
I think it really worked in the film. I
It
think
was more to just lighten up dark moments.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the actors have great chemistry.
Yes.
Everyone's doing a great job. Florence Pugh is still great, absolutely fantastic as Yelena. The standout of the movie is David Harbour. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
good
Oh,
God,
yes.
that man just makes anything he's in better. Even when I really hated that Hellboy movie a lot, and he was the only thing that really kind of carried it for me was his performance.
I actually really like the new Hellboy, the Crooked Man.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. But yeah, Red Guardian is fantastic in the film. John Walker, who I got kind of mixed on with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think he worked very well in the film. He's the asshole of the
Yep.
group in
Yeah.
this. Like he constantly gets called out on it. And they do go a little bit deeper into his character here, which I appreciated. Kind of gave him a little bit more dimension. And the one in the group who I feel like gets the shaft in this is Ghost.
Yes.
Yeah. For real.
Because I didn't really care about her that much in that Ant-Man movie she was in.
Yeah.
I barely even remember what her backstory was.
I don't remember
And I feel
either.
like
I do.
I mean she's not bad in the movie. I think the actors did a fine enough
Yeah.
job, but I don't think she really did much in the movie for me. Taskmaster, we'll talk about that in spoilers. But but the group dynamic is absolutely there, and Sebastian Stan, Bucky, always great to see in these movies,
Yes.
and he gets a ton of great moments. And I do the scenes where he's where he's the politician side of the character
Where he's
are really good in
networking.
the film. I was very mixed on how I would feel about that after Brave New World. It was like, really, he's gonna become a congressman?
Yeah.
It's like, are you serious? Is that really where we're going? It worked in this movie for me. I think that they wrote it in such a way that it actually was pretty funny in many points. And they also acknowledge that he's not that great at it. So, the character dynamics were great for me. Lewis Pullman as Bob is
He was
is
fantastic.
great.
Yeah.
Lewis Pullman has been really impressing me ever since Top Gun, and I really do think he got a lot of his daddy's talent in him. Bill Pullman, of course.
Yeah.
And
I guess this movie did answer the question about them keeping the TV and movie separate, because there was not a whiff of mention of Daredevil. What happened?
oh, thank God. Yeah. I don't really think it would have fit that much in this movie.
Well, you know what happened, right?
I do.
Okay.
I haven't seen all of it, but yeah, I do know what happened.
Okay. Because I figured there would have at least been a reference to Kingpin.
But I would much rather them keep them separate. Like,
Yeah.
please do that. Even Kevin Feige, with all his comments he made last week about working the enormous workload he's been under,
Yes.
and how much he really came to kind of despise the workflow that he was under during the shift in leadership. I definitely think he wants that as well. Keep the things separate so general audiences can go to a movie without having to do so much homework. And yeah, I think Marvel can get back to where it was if they keep going down this road, and I think they are, as far as I know.
I think they could have 2 separate storylines and be good.
Yes.
Have like a mostly TV-driven storyline with like the street grounded characters,
Hmm.
and then have like the movies characters, and then have just the where you only need a little bit of exposition to bring the TV into the movie.
Now, obviously, John Walker came from one
Yeah.
of the shows, but it was directly that show was directly involved with the events and stuff like that, and I'm
It was a
fine with it. I'm
miniseries,
fine
yeah.
with it as long as they do enough in the movie side to explain who that character is.
Yeah.
Because this movie does, I think, does a serviceable enough job. It's like, oh, he's just a dime store Captain America
Yeah.
who completely failed at it and killed someone. So, but yeah, Wyatt Russell also have to shout him out. He's
Yes.
still great in that
He
character.
nails it.
I was a fan of him in the show. I just think the character got a little fuzzy for me in how he was written. But yeah,
He's
Wyatt Russell still is a great addition to the
He's
series.
he's incredible in Monarch: Legacy of Monsters.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Been great in most things I've seen him in. Overlord was probably the first movie I really remember him
That
from.
the zombie movie or
Yeah.
whatever? I've
Yeah,
not
yeah.
seen that
The
yet.
Nazi zombie
Oh,
one.
that's great.
It's a great movie and he's great in it. You can I definitely another. We have 2 pretty good nepo actors in the film, Louis Pullman and Wyatt Russell.
Yeah.
I think they both get a lot of their father's talent.
Who do we think had the best acting though in the movie? I'd say Yelena.
Yeah, Florence Pugh. She's a
absolutely.
world-class actress. I've been saying this for years now.
Yeah.
She impresses me in almost everything I see her in, and
Yes.
this is no exception.
I think that's some of her best acting too.
Yes, I mean, I wouldn't say this is her best. She's had like award contender level performances. I mean, Oppenheimer, We Live in Time, which came out last year. She was amazing.
She was.
I do have a couple of hot takes about this though, before we like get into like a lot of plot details.
Okay.
Right now it is my 5th MCU movie total, and I think upon repeated rewatch it could be number 1.
Like ranked in
Yeah.
the MC. Really?
Yeah, the only thing above it knocked out Shang-Chi for 5. The only thing above it is Guardians 3, No Way Home, Guardians 1, and Winter Soldier.
It's 5 for me too.
It'd probably make my top. Probably make number 10 or number 11. There's some that I do prefer over this,
Yeah.
but
I think
it's
it'll
still,
rank my top 15 probably.
to those. This was the movie that I think. This is the movie that I think is going to prove to a lot of people after Brave New World kind of really disappointed a lot of people. And
And the Marvels and Quantumania.
yeah, all that. Phase 5 I think was not good, like overall.
It was definitely the weakest phase.
Yeah, like we had Guardians 3, which was really good.
Deadpool.
We had Deadpool, of course. Other than that, though, I can't think of a single one I really enjoyed that much. Other than, is this the end of Phase 5?
Yes.
This movie.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep,
This
that's
is
the last one.
This is the last one.
Yeah,
So
Fantastic Four start phase 6. Well, Ironheart is.
right. Yeah, I think this was a good way to end off on a pretty weak phase. So I think they definitely, if Fantastic Four can carry on the hype that this movie has, and if that movie can be successful, or at least as successful as this one,
It'll reduce the Marvel
yes,
fatigue.
yes, it will, because there's only Marvel fatigue when the Marvel movies that are coming out aren't that good.
Right.
Because we clearly saw that with Deadpool and Wolverine, a movie that pretty much everyone liked, and became the biggest one of the biggest films of last year. Like, that fatigue only exists when the movies are bad.
Right.
So if they can continue on this good streak, then I think they'll be fine. And the hype for the next Avengers movies will definitely go higher if they continue to, do this. And the post-credits scene, which we'll talk about, absolutely. this is the first post-credit scene where I feel like Marvel is. This is the first post-credit scene where I felt like shit was actually connecting.
Yes, that's what I
again.
was talking about earlier. Yeah.
What in the past 5 years, every time there's a post-credit scene, I'm rolling my eyes because
Yeah.
I feel like it's never gonna go anywhere, and
Right.
rarely has it gone anywhere. And with this, I'm like, okay, finally, connective tissue to other movies that are coming soon. Thank God they understand this. I'm tired of that. Brave New World had that really stupid one where they had the leader just going, "There's something coming." They don't say what's coming. It's like it's so vague. Why'd you even have that in there? But no, this had a great post credit. Two great post credit scenes.
I'll give my other hot take, and then we'll start like discussing some spoilers and stuff. With the plot details and how it was, like some of the like intricacies of this movie.
Hmm.
I feel like this could be one of the rare superhero movies that is kind of active a bit in award seasons.
Huh? What?
I feel like with the way the movie, like the acting and stuff, and how like the writing, I feel like this could be one of the few superhero movies that has some awards.
I don't think so.
You don't
Like
think
it,
so?
I really enjoyed the movie a lot, but I just don't think. I don't think a movie like this is gonna, because obviously there's a lot of competition,
Yeah.
throughout the last part of the year. That's where all the big hitters come
Right.
out. I mean, we've already had Sinners, which is definitely going to be a major awards
Yeah.
contender. I just don't think this movie's not going to do what Black Panther did.
Right.
It's not
And it's not a
it's-
Batman movie.
true. And yeah, I just don't think. I really enjoyed the film a lot. I don't think that's going to happen. Like,
I feel like
other than Black Panther, what other Marvel movie has had that?
right, none.
Yeah,
I feel like the superhero most likely to get awards is Batman
right.
because of stuff like the Dark
And-
Knight, the Batman.
And Joker.
yeah, just overall the Batman categories.
Yeah, Black Panther, I believe,
Won a
was the
few.
Black Panther. I believe is the only like real superhero movie to be, other than Joker,
Right.
nominated for Best Picture. So
Wasn't the Dark Knight nominated for Best Picture?
no, it was
No, it
wasn't.
was nominated for 8 Oscars, but not for Best Picture.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
it
Well,
wasn't.
yeah, I didn't think Thunderbolts would get Best Picture, but I figure it would get something like maybe
I
Best
just-
Lead Actress. something
I'm
like
not
that.
sure if I'm not sure the competition is way too high. Like
Yeah.
I said, there's just
I definitely think it'll get a cinematography
The-
award, like a nomination.
it is
I can see that.
maybe. That's a big maybe on my part.
Although Dylan and I agree that Spider-Man No Way Home should have got Best Picture in 2022.
I don't
It
think
should
I
have
don't
been.
think I don't
Oh,
think
it was
so.
clearly the best movie in 2021.
No,
Come on,
I
dude.
No,
don't
it
remember
wasn't. I'm
what
telling you
won
that
for that
right now.
year.
No, it wasn't.
Dune won, I think.
There were a lot of
Oh,
better
yeah.
movies
Dune,
that
Dune
year.
deserved it. Yeah.
Dude deserved it, but that's the one that was
There
our
were a
that was
lot
our
of
favorite
good
movies of
movies that
2021.
year.
So
No Way
it
Home
would
is
have
not-
been cool to see a nom. I'll say that. It would have been cool to see a nomination.
It got best visual effects.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I feel like a lot of the time I feel like people are so weird about best picture noms just because they need to feel that validation for movies they like.
Mm.
And you can get the Oscars are for nominating the movies that are objectively like there's obviously subjective opinions on movies all the time, but like
Yeah.
their job is to look objectively at movies that have the most going for them. And compared to Dune and
Amelia Perez.
but yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's dark horses all the time. I completely agree.
What did he say?
Amelia Perez. Good point. He has a good point there.
Don't start. Don't start.
But yeah, like yeah, I just don't think Marvel, the kind of movies Marvel usually makes are movies like that.
Right.
Like very few. I don't really see that happening other than with something that clearly is culturally impactful, like Black Panther was.
Yeah.
So
I guess I'll go ahead and give you my thoughts on the movie.
Yeah, and then we'll jump into spoilers, kind of.
Yeah. Well-
there's not much we could talk about without doing spoilers for this.
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
that's
a
true.
lot of spoiler stuff.
I do want to say real quickly about the Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's actually is my third favorite MCU show. I love that show. Just behind Miss Marvel at number 2 and Hawkeye at number 1. I love those shows.
You're the only person who I feel like really likes that Hawkeye show.
I don't know.
No,
I-
no, no.
I
No.
a lot. Most people I know don't straight up
three of
don't
us
like
like
it.
I know a lot of fans.
Yeah, a lot of fans love Hawkeye. I don't know
Yeah.
where you. I don't know where
It
where
does-
you ran into
It
haters.
didn't work for me at all.
That's
Oh,
fine. I can see how it wouldn't.
I
can
don't
see how it wouldn't.
Dude, I don't like most of these Disney Plus shows. I really
Yeah.
don't. Like,
I-
there's a couple I really like, but not many.
Okay, wow.
Moon Knight fell
Come on.
off really hard for me. You know.
Moon Knight was great at the beginning, and then it just
Yeah, it plummeted.
Moon Knight was a weird show.
because Moon Knight
It
was my
very
favorite at
strange.
first, and then by like the third episode, it's
I
just
was really enjoying it, and then it just
Yeah,
it lost
talking
itself.
hippos, but not to get off track.
Yeah, let's go back to
my thoughts on the Thunderbolts. Yeah, I loved it.
Mhm.
I had a great time. Unless other great movies will be greater than this one, this is probably what make my best movies of the year. It was very fun. The casting was great, as we said. Action was fantastic. Great chemistry between the Thunderbolts. Really great. The villain we'll get to was fantastic. End credits we'll talk about a little bit later as well. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. This feels like going back to Phase 1 when I watched Thunderbolts.
Phase
Like,
2.
I'd
like
say more Phase 2.
well, yeah, right, Phase 2, Phase 1, Phase 2. Like, as I
But
said,
yeah, the early stages of Marvel, you know, when
yeah,
they were
I
really,
said that in our Daredevil Board Again review, is that there were some hidden gems like Spider-Man No Way Home and all that stuff, but Phase
Most of
1
it-
through Phase 3 were the strongest. Phase 4 and 5 were extremely weak when it comes to the movies.
mediocre at best.
Mediocre. In terms of
Mediocre.
in terms of box office, yeah,
I
the
mean,
faces were.
they still had
ugh.
big hits every once in a while.
Yeah.
But like,
But we're getting back to what it feels
Yeah.
like in the beginning, which it feels good to say that. So,
yeah. And one more thing I'll say: the climax, which we'll definitely talk more about. I really appreciated that this movie does not end with another big like laser just punching match like most of the Marvel movies do. I really liked how they really did something different with the climax of the movie,
Yeah.
and we'll get into why. But and I heard a lot of opinions that the movie is anticlimactic. I don't think so. I disagree.
No.
It just because it doesn't have a big CGI battle like a lot of these Marvel movies do, it kind of reminded me of how the Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange, did its climax with
Dormammu.
Dormammu. That I like stuff like that does something a little different with what a superhero climax would have, like something
Yeah.
that doesn't have
outside
a big
box.
battle but has the characters doing something clever
Yeah.
to kind of like move away from that. I much rather have that than just have a bunch of explosions and all that stuff, which gets really boring after a while. I want more stuff like this that feels more tied with the characters' emotions and the psychology, which we'll get into. You know, I really appreciate how this movie ended.
I
Yeah,
100%, without a doubt, absolutely, positively did not cry during this movie.
I highly doubt that.
but I enjoyed it. It was great.
I mean, I really liked it. I thought it was awesome. There were several moments here during it that I felt were they felt very reminiscent of the first Avengers movie.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, like when the Void is attacking near that bridge, and they're running through the street, and one of them rolls across the car and stuff like that. It felt almost exactly. It felt really close to the kind of scenes
From the Battle of New York.
from the Battle of New York, where like Captain America also runs and rolls
Where
over a car.
the heroes are actually just saving people.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that. Like,
it's all
What
crowd
a
control.
superhero should do.
Yeah. And
What a
something
concept.
that Snyder fans don't understand, because when they see the new Superman trailer and he's saving like a little girl, apparently that's a problem that he's saving people.
It's dumb, but I don't want to get into that.
I just
No,
wanted to
I-
bring that up because
It's
there's nothing
dumb.
wrong with a superhero saving a cat falling from a
Yeah,
tree.
it's just,
Like it's
Superman.
it's classic it's superheroism. Like
Yeah.
we've gone so far away from that with what Marvel is doing, and not to say that what they've been doing hasn't been great,
Mm.
but like people still like that old fashioned kind of superheroism.
Yeah.
You know? And this movie did bring that back a little bit, and
We
I
were actually
really
supposed to-
appreciated that.
We were actually supposed to do a discussion on that last year, and we never did.
Wait, what?
Discussion on what?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Superheroes versus like modern versus like anti-heroes and stuff.
Like how they've changed.
Superman versus like the Boys or Punisher or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I feel like that media like that, like The Boys or Invincible, has turned in what Snyder did with DC. I feel like that that made people think that the old-fashioned stuff is bad when there's nothing bad about it. Like it's I don't know. I hate that mentality. Give me old-fashioned or whatever. Just do it right.
We'll definitely do a full discussion on that one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to do this real quickly on how it did at the box office for Thunderbolts. It actually didn't do too shabby. It
It
made
It did pretty good.
162
yeah,
million. I think.
$102 million.
Like
I got a feeling it's
this
gonna
was
make
never gonna be like a bit like one of their biggest movies.
No.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
but
this
I do
has
think this movie's gonna make a profit.
the biggest character in the movie is
Bucky.
well, yeah, but the main character of the film, I would say Bucky or Yelena, who was in Black Widow, which wasn't one of their more popular movies, and that
Right.
was really divisive. And I certainly have a lot of bad thoughts on it, which I'll talk about in a bit. But no, like this was never gonna be. I don't think this was ever gonna be a $1 billion movie.
No.
Like this doesn't have like that kind of thing going for it. Like it'll do really well because it's a good movie.
I feel like it's going to do 650 to 750.
That's what I
like,
was thinking too. Around
This
600,
doesn't,
700.
and I say this a lot. Not every movie like this needs to make $1 billion.
Exactly.
We need to get away from that. Like, I don't know. Like
and the news outlets are making it
None
so
of the-
stupid.
none of the Guardians movies made $1 billion.
Right.
Why are we?
The news outlets are so stupid. Instead of it made 162 million this weekend,
It bombed
it bombed because it was less than Brave New World, a few million less.
because Brave New World had a Red Hulk in it, and it
Yes.
had, Captain America in it.
And-
This doesn't have the most popular character in the movie is the Winter Soldier, and that's not Captain America.
And Brave New World tanked the next week.
Yeah, because a
Hmm.
lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah.
So
This is going to do better, I think, in this.
because the word of mouth
Yes.
around this one is way more positive
Yes.
than Brave New
there's going to be a
World.
lot
The
less.
cinema score is an A minus.
Yeah.
Brave New World had like a B minus.
Yeah.
So
There's going to be a
that's-
lot less drop,
yeah.
yeah,
if not a raise next week.
yeah. This movie is already doing fine.
Yes.
It's doing perfectly fine. It's not.
Exactly.
It's not a fucking bomb like
No.
a lot of these stupid ass anti-Disney media outlets are saying. I'm not even that big of a Disney fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm not at all Disney shill. I don't like what Disney does most of the time, like in a company kind of way. But
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna just completely shit on everything they do if it's actually good.
Yeah.
So
All right. Shall we get into spoilers?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1, go.
So that Marvel logo in the beginning,
Yeah,
did
that
that,
was-
Yeah.
did that kind of
I loved
chill
it.
you to the bone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like because I love, first of all, it's a different one than we've seen with all the movie clips.
They used the
I-
comic clips.
I love that. I wish they would go back to that. And they're actually the characters in the movie.
yeah.
But then the logo like turns black and it goes into
Yeah,
the
that was
void and
awesome.
the music fades out and it was just really
Eerie.
unsettling and
Yeah.
creepy. And the Marvel logo in black looks really cool.
Yeah, right?
But
I love the black
But
and black.
that I love when movies do that. Like it kind of makes them stand out a little bit more when like even the film logo is meant to represent the movie more, and it kind of goes along with the tone of the movie where literally the first line of dialogue is Yelena saying something is wrong, and it looks like she's about to jump off a building, but no, it's just a mission. It's a misdirect. But yeah, right off the bat, the movie establishes its tone and what the movie is going for.
I think the logo is going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to go back to the comic logo.
I think that was just made for this movie.
You think so?
I think so. I think Fantastic Four is going to, because of all the stylistic choices that they have with the 1960s. I think that's, I don't know, but I do really miss that, just to show the comics. I'm kind of tired of just seeing the movie clips.
I think that they're just going to roll with that because it harkens back to what it was originally.
Like Spider-Man and X-Men, yeah.
Yeah,
I was thinking too.
Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man, the Raimi one, was the first one to have that logo.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just been revamped. It's really cool. I like that it's kind of like a callback at this point. It's kind of celebrating what came before. I think it's cool.
As they're bringing in the X-Men to the...
Yeah.
The classic X-Men.
And we've already had Spider-Man, both Spider-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deadpool brought in a couple.
I'm hyped over it. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, the action sequence in the beginning of the film with Yelena is really cool. The fight choreography in this is like 100 fucking times better than Brave New World, which looked like a Disney stunt show. This one, the fight scenes are really well done. The choreography,
it's one take.
Most of it is, really well shot. Speaking of one takes, we'll definitely get to that towards the end of the movie with Sentry. Can we just talk about that since I already brought it up? When Sentry comes in, Louis Pullman Bob, he is Sentry and the Void, and when he is revealed by Val to the other Thunderbolts, there's a really awesome one take little fight scene that's most of the time it's framed on Sentry, and it's just him beating the shit, completely demolishing all the characters in one shot. Really cool. A little CGI heavy in some moments, but most of it looked great. And it was a really great way to show the level of power that character has. What the hell? Is there anything in the MCU that could possibly take this guy down? Like
Captain Marvel, maybe?
I don't think so.
Kind of.
There's
Gaia.
He could beat the shit out of Thanos.
So if you guys are
I honestly don't know if we're ever gonna see Gaia again.
I don't
with how
know.
badly
I have no
with how
idea.
badly Secret Invasion did with pretty much all the fans.
I still have not seen that show. I still have not watched
It's
it.
bad.
If you guys are unfamiliar with the characters in this movie, this is like Batman, Robin, Batgirl trying to fight Superman without any kind of.
It's like that. It's like the scene in.
It's
It's like the scene in Justice League where they're trying to take down Superman when he wakes up.
Exactly.
Just- They stand absolutely no chance. And really cool, great scene.
Sentry is
it's
Marvel
amazing.
Superman, so
It kind of reminded me, who's more? What about this, Vision or Sentry? Because Vision's
Sentry.
pretty powerful too.
Sentry.
But that villain was so disturbing. My gosh, he was so disturbing to actually see on screen.
Louis Pullman really does a great job.
He makes people disappear. With shadow.
and
It's
it looks-
crazy.
There's been a really stupid controversy about the way he kills people. He
What?
doesn't kill them. He just sends them to
the void.
the rooms, the.
But what
rooms.
controversy are you talking about?
The director of the movie, he was talking about how that effective when he turns people into shadows, and he said he wanted to make it reminiscent of the people that died in Hiroshima because of
the shadows
turned into ash or whatever.
Okay.
And people just got really pissed about that.
Huh?
I don't. And I saw someone on Twitter bring up a great point. Where do these people think Godzilla came from?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh my god, it's so. People on social media just getting mad for whatever possible reason.
Yeah, they're getting mad for no
Whatever.
reasons whatsoever.
It's just a cool ass effect.
Exactly.
It's scary looking.
Yeah.
And it's really jarring when you just see people just Yeah, it's
But
it's
But
threatening.
and the eyes, my
Yeah, the
goodness, the eyes. Oh man!
Did anyone ever see Lights Out, the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
I
it
did,
reminded
yeah.
me of.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Diana from Lights Out.
Yeah.
Do you
'Cause
think
it's
I would
very-
like Lights Out?
You might.
Probably. I think you would.
Yeah,
Of
it's
the
not bad.
horror
It's
horror
not bad.
movies that you'd probably like, I'd say that's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should come over and watch it one day.
Very
It's
minimum,
not-
you
it's
would
not
appreciate the
too-
concept.
It's not too heavy in like subject
Yeah.
matter.
As you
It's-
guys know,
it's really
that's my
fun.
least favorite genre, which is horror. But I
And
will be honest
David-
with you, there
It's
are
part of the DCEU.
And and David F. David F.
No, it is.
Sandberg. David F. Sandberg, who
he did
Shazam,
Shazam. Yeah. But yeah,
No, it is actually part of the MCU.
Lights Out.
Or
Or the
DCEU.
DCEU.
Yeah. The director made a comment that there's a connection to Shazam in there.
Yes.
you
No,
told me
John,
that. I was.
John,
You told
yes.
me that. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
I said it. I said it on the show before.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean-
that's crazy.
Shazam did have some pretty fucked up shit happen
Yeah.
in it, especially with the 7 deadly sins. But
Well, it would have been really
um,
interesting.
But
to
yeah,
see
but there
that.
are
Yeah.
a few horror movies I do want to check out. Lights Out, Don't,
Watch the sh-
Don't
watch the short
Breathe,
film.
Sinners.
watch the short film first. That'll
Okay.
give you a good taste of what the movie's like.
Okay.
But yeah, going back to like the setup of the movie. So Yelena's going through a heavy existential crisis, but she doesn't want to admit it.
No.
But she's going through basically going through depression, but she's trying to push through it through work and doing all the spy shit that she usually does.
Ashley says you got to push it down.
Yeah. And she goes to see her dad, what's
Alexei.
Alexei. Yeah, they have a good scene, his first scene in the movie. Always bringing the laughs, David Harbour. No matter what scene he's in, he always brings his A game.
Bonus points if you guys caught the Violent Night reference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let us know if you caught that in the
That
comments.
face,
Yes,
okay,
please.
that face he gives when in that scene, I think that clip is on YouTube or it's online where like he gets called Santa and like he gets insulted and he just has that look on his face. That got a big laugh in my theater. That
Oh,
guy-
there was-
Applauded in ours.
it did. It was awesome.
it was great.
Yeah, I was laughing a lot in this movie.
So the setup of the movie is that Val, Julie Louis-Dreyfus, is basically trying to form a new team of heroes, and the way she's doing that, she assigns Yelena to retrieve. Was she assigned to retrieve in that facility, like some files or something like that? When everyone is sent to that big vault that you see in the trailer where everyone meets
I think they
up.
were sent there to kill each other.
Yeah,
they're sent there to
but
take
they-
out a target that's supposed to steal something from the vault.
But
Yeah.
they were all told separately, and they had no idea what was coming.
Yeah, they were all
and
played.
Basically, they were all sent to die in there, or to kill each other, and then everything
each
get
other, yeah.
erased.
Yeah.
Including Bob, or the character of Bob, who's the Sentry. That's revealed much about later, of course.
He was in like one of the box
Yeah,
in there, like suspended animation.
Yeah.
They thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, everyone gets in. There's a nice little gunfight going on there. A nice fight scene between all the characters when they meet up.
Which
Taskmaster gets fucking.
ghosted.
Taskmaster
Yeah.
just gets shot in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I hated what the Black Widow movie did to that character. Absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
It
That
was
character's
horrible.
a beast. They should not have screwed it
They,
up so bad.
it was
Yeah.
for me. It was as bad as what Origins Wolverine did to Deadpool.
Yeah.
It's that
Yeah.
bad for me.
Hopefully we can get
Huh.
the real Taskmaster
Yeah,
now.
that's what I want. Like,
Tony Master.
and I feel really bad for the actress because I like her, Olga Krylenko.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for her. And
That was just a casting that should never have happened.
yeah,
She should have been cast as
it was a character assassination that should have never been done to that character.
Right.
Just bring us Taskmaster. Don't change it up like that.
Exactly.
Speaking of bad, I saw Black Widow in theaters. I have not watched it since.
I haven't
watched it
either.
in theaters. It's been 5
the
years since I watched
Taskmaster
it.
I've watched it a
twist-
few times.
The Taskmaster twist left such a bad taste in my mouth from that movie.
Just remember, we corrected Iron Man 3. We could correct this.
Yes, exactly. Give us the real Taskmaster now. You can absolutely do that in a way that makes sense. So
I actually like the Taskmaster in Iron Man 3. I thought he was. I
Man,
thought he
you
was
mean
fun.
Mandarin,
Mandarin, yes,
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
but
yeah.
it wasn't the real Mandarin.
Right.
Yeah, but I was laughing a lot.
Shang-Chi's
I mean, it
one
was
of my
funny,
favorites.
but still.
but anyway, so yeah, nice little action scene right there. The characters all get introduced to each other, and then what happens after that? Like, they find Bob, of course.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, it's been like 5 days since I've seen this
And
movie.
then the
room goes into lockdown.
Yeah,
They realize
they are-
the
they're all-
incinerator's gonna hit 'em.
they're all about to get incinerated, like Toy Story 3.
Oh no, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Which I knew
It's
they were not
true,
gonna
it's
die.
fair.
I knew that wasn't gonna happen.
I didn't think Taskmaster would get shot in like 30 seconds like
It's
she
a
did.
freaking-
From the
Slipknot.
trailers, it's kind of
Yeah,
apparent.
it's Slipknot from Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I can climb anything.
Which actually, thank you for mentioning Suicide Squad
I
because
would have just mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
because I did like the movie Suicide Squad,
I
but
didn't.
after watching Thunderbolts, I'm thinking Suicide Squad wishes
No,
Yeah.
because
well, the James Gunn one was what the
Yeah,
OG
but the David
Suicide
Ayer
Squad
one,
wishes.
yeah. Which the David Ayer one, you can tell there was reshoots. They admitted there were reshoots.
We're not talking about Suicide Squad.
Well, I'm just saying though, when I'm comparing Thunderbolts to Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad had reshoots.
it's similar, but there's major differences.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Thunderbolts
Yeah.
was paced better with
Oh
this
God,
one.
yeah, and it was just
Yeah.
written better and put
Yeah,
together
that's why I
better.
said David Ayer Suicide Squad wishes. That's what
Um,
I was talking about.
So yeah, they get out of there. There's one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when they're trying to climb out of this vent, like this big round ventilation shaft.
The elevator shaft. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of pictures comparing this scene to another movie, Emperor's New Groove,
that's
when
what I
they're
was
climbing
thinking
up
of,
that
yeah.
hill, that mountain
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
That's immediately what I
Cusco
thought
and
of
Pacha
too.
back to back,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
The
it's
one
a-
that Matthew has
it's
not
hel-
seen.
It's really funny. That I love that scene. It nothing really. I mean, it's not the kind of thing I would expected to see in Marvel movies all the time, but
Yeah.
it was just really enjoyable and ever.
Then one of them's like, your butt hurt.
Yeah.
That's my
It's
suit.
my armor.
I mean,
yeah.
it is actually kind of suspenseful because they have to climb up really high.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of the first Die Hard when he's like when John McClane's like jumping through like the vents and stuff and he almost falls
Yeah.
straight down. That
Yeah.
I like stuff like that. Because I'm afraid of heights. So
I am too.
I'm
yeah.
afraid of falling. So
That-
I'm right
exactly.
there with you.
Free.
I'm somewhat getting used to heights.
Free
Somewhat.
falling.
But yeah, that's basically the characters, are starting to. They don't like each other at first, of course. Then they kind of like learn more about each other. One of my favorite comedic lines in the movie is when Bob is like, "So you're supposed to be Captain America," and John Walker's like, "Yeah," and Bob goes, "That's funny because you're an asshole."
Yeah.
Which he was. He is. He absolutely is.
That got a big laugh out of my theater.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, really. Then the kind of the weird stuff happens with Bob when he starts touching each of the characters, and they kind of have flashbacks of their past.
Yeah.
Yelena, it's revealed that when she was a little kid that she got. I can't remember. She got another kid
A
killed.
girl named Anya.
A girl named
Yeah.
Anya killed another girl, which is just
Whew,
it's really well
yeah.
done and kind of it's heartbreaking.
It is
Um,
very heartbreaking.
Then we see another part where John Walker is thinking about is back home with his wife and kid, and he's not being that great of a dad, and he's kind of haunted by that. And that was a great addition to his character and helped
Yeah.
build him out a little bit more too.
Yes.
He didn't do that with Ghost, did he?
No.
No.
Which is I really wanted to see. I know she went.
It would have been cool.
I wish. I know if I remember correctly, the second Ant-Man movie did go a little bit into her backstory.
Yeah.
But actually seeing it would have done so much more.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think not just through exposition, but actually like seeing it happen on screen would have been.
I didn't
I
think
would
about
have.
that.
I would have
yeah.
liked that ghost character in this movie a lot more if we actually saw more of her psychology.
Yeah, because we couldn't.
And that's
connect
kind
with
of-
her, really.
And that's kind of one of my gripes with the movie is that we definitely get a lot with Yelena because she's basically the main character of the movie.
Yes.
And Bob, we learn a lot about him. But I wish when they all go to those rooms, because that's what the Void is. It consists of all these rooms surrounding everyone's trauma, individual trauma. I really wish we could have seen a little bit of when they go to the Void, and we could have seen more of their rooms. I wish, but I think I did read something where the director said we wanted to show more of that, but I think we tried to focus it more on Yelena and the main characters, and just to conserve, runtime, I guess, which I guess makes sense, and it didn't ruin anything for me, but I really would have liked to see that.
I feel like this could have been about 10 minutes longer.
Yeah,
Just give a
I
little
would have
bit
been
more.
fine with it.
Yeah.
Cool.
The movie for me was very well paced.
Yeah, it
and
was.
Yeah, it was.
I never really felt the runtime. Not that the movie is like super long. It's only like around 2
hours
hours.
and 7 minutes.
So not long at all. Just it uses it very well.
And if you're a big music fan, this movie's like listening to an NF album, watching a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I also want to get into, and that is Julia's character, you're supposed to hate the character,
Yeah.
but she was such a prick. My
I
gosh,
will
like,
say, I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
she's
She's
great.
one of my. She's a legend to me. I didn't feel like her comedic dialogue was that great, and I feel like that's
Okay.
kind of the point where like she's not supposed to be likable at all, and she plays it very well. But I think her line, you can tell that a lot of her lines are supposed to be funny, and that's the only real character where I felt like the comedic dialogue wasn't that great. Was with her,
okay.
but the character is still vital to the story.
If you
And
know
all
the
the-
comics, like she's trash because that's Madam Hydra.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But what she actually
and we do in the rooms thing that I was talking about, we do get to see a little bit of her backstory too in
Yeah.
her little room, which was also neat to see.
Yeah, but the one thing at the end where she's now going to turn to a good person when she's like, now introduced the new Avengers. That's like, you prick! You're not trying to be a good person. Don't give me that good one. You deserve to die.
And then that great line that Yelena gives her is like, "We own you now."
Yeah.
Exactly. And I was like, yeah, you're going to be nice now. You're going to be nice to these Thunderbolts, so don't you dare be mean.
And
So,
what I love
as you can
about
tell, she's the one I was like, okay.
and with that character too, one of my other favorite scenes in the movie is when she's with Sentry, and they have that great dialogue where Sentry kind of like,
Snaps.
kind of like has a crisis of himself too, like Yelena does, where he's like, if I'm this powerful, why am I even taking orders from you? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
exactly.
It kind of reminded me of like some of the dialogue that Dr. Manhattan had in Watchmen, like some of that
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
kind of like that contemplative, like real deep, universal level thinking, where it's like I have all this power, and I'm not sure what to do with it. Like, and that I
Yeah.
really like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do too.
Hmm.
And I didn't say prick either in the theater. I did not say that word when I was saying that with Matthew. I'm not going to say what the word
No,
it
you said the
was.
C word instead.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't that. No, it wasn't that. No, it was the D word. That
Oh, okay.
and I was just thinking to myself, well, I just admitted that I called her that. So that's what I wanted to remind you. I'm sorry I said that, dude. You know. Oh
14
man.
lashes.
Oh man. Are we getting to the post credit scene, the first one?
We
Not
started
yet.
talking about the climax, right?
Yeah.
Climax.
there's a lot more to
Oh,
talk
okay.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about
Um,
that.
There was the scene in the desert from the trailer.
Oh yeah, cool scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
a
cool.
nice, a nice car chase scene. Bucky comes out with that same gun he had in Winter Soldier with that
Yeah,
shoots
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
landmines, which
Yeah.
I love the Thunderbolts. We were like,
Did it-
yay! Oh,
that I love that too. John Walker has that. Yay! He came to. He just blows up.
It's a magnetic like landmine launcher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had that
Oh,
in Winter
yeah,
Soldier
yeah.
when he went after
Fury.
Yeah.
when he after Nick Fury. That actually kind of got a big reaction out of my audience when Bucky came in on the motorcycle and doing that stuff. People got excited for that. But no, the action scenes are very good in this. No, not a real weak one in my opinion.
Not really.
They're all
No.
pretty solid. Way better than most of the action in Brave New World.
Yes.
Um, and then Alexei comes in. The group is basically fully formed at the point. And the Thunderbolts name comes from when Yelena was on a
Yep.
soccer team.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
where-
yes.
And the little
The
asterisk.
Thunderbolts.
We can get on the Wheaties box. And yeah, so then they go after Val because they take Bob, who is revealed at this. It was already revealed at this point that he's also
More than
got
meets the eye.
superpowers because he
Yeah.
gets shot to death. He gets shot like crazy, and he flies up into the clouds and flies back down. So he gets taken by Val, and he gets manipulated into becoming the Sentry.
Yeah.
And she even dyes his hair blonde too.
Yeah.
And I like that the dialogue. He's like, I believe you made me change my hair color. I don't like that. I don't like that very much.
Yeah, he looks better with black hair than blonde.
Yeah.
And Val also owns Avengers Tower now.
Yes. Yes. Which that was neat. That kind of made my lizard brain happy to see again.
That we got the tower
It
back.
was nice to see that tower again.
Because we haven't seen it since
No.
No Way Home, or not No Way Home.
Age of Ultron.
Homecoming.
Homecoming. Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
Homecoming is when
Homecoming,
they
yeah.
move out of
yeah,
that tower.
Homecoming. Yeah.
Um,
I don't know why I said No
yeah.
Way Home. I knew what I was talking about.
Well, they had the same bar from
Yeah.
from
Hey,
Age of Ultron.
Hey, Marvel
too.
Studios.
Yeah.
Hey, Marvel Studios. It's about time.
It's been a while. People have been asking that question for a long time.
Yeah.
Who bought it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens with it now.
Now it's Thunderbolt's headquarters.
Now that she owns it. Yeah. And
Yay.
then we get to the climb. Then we start getting. So we get that great fight scene with all the Thunderbolts trying to fight Sentry. Absolutely dead on arrival with
Oh
that.
gosh, yes.
Yeah.
They get sent out. And Yelena, one of the best moments of the movie, easily when Yelena and Alexei have that great back and forth out in the city, and she really lets out all her emotion.
Mm.
Florence Pugh still just amazing at what she
Mwah.
does.
Yeah.
So
um,
good.
You know, great dialogue in that scene, great performances by the two of them. Obviously, you know, about a lot of the struggles that most people in the world go through today, and it was great to see that. And this movie came out just in time for Mental Awareness Month.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
I
cool.
definitely see why they released it in May. So that was great. How did you feel about that scene, Matthew?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I bet that made you feel something, didn't it?
yeah, it did.
Yeah, just really great scene. Then Sentry and Val kind of go at it, but she has the remote that I guess deactivates him.
It's like a dead switch.
Just like a kill switch, just in case he
neutralizes his
goes
brain and
wrong.
stuff, yeah.
But things go wrong anyway because he turns into the void, just an empty, black, soulless vessel of just darkness,
Yeah.
literally and
It's
like
his-
metaphorically.
It's his depression personified.
Yeah, manic depression, just completely incarnate. They try anything that in that whole big action sequence where the void is unleashed. There's a helicopter that shoots at him, not like doesn't even make a sound, just passes through him like air,
yeah.
which is really just kind of uncomfortable and threatening.
It reminds me of the dusting from Thanos.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, in a way.
Just
I can see that.
a
yeah.
whole giant cloud of black just comes over the city. The Thunderbolts start saving people like we talked about. And then Yelena decides to go into this void, and she kind of confronts herself basically through this void.
I was like, oh
Um,
no, is she gonna die?
No, because it's made clear that doesn't kill you. It just takes you to this
Other
other plane of existence.
Yeah, but I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Um,
my God.
Then yeah, she goes through all that internal turmoil, in physical form, where she confronts herself and tries to, escape her own trauma, and then finds Bob in his own room, and we get a little bit of his backstory where he came from an abusive home, and I wish we could have gotten a little bit more explained with him in his past.
Yeah.
They also say he's a meth addict.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell just because of how completely oblivious he is acting like throughout the beginning part of it, where he just seems like a guy who's like he's laughing even when nothing's happening. He's just like out of it, and which made sense. And basically that he was because that's part of the point with this whole that tests the century experiment, because all these people were tested on, and I guess people like Bob were targeted because I guess they
Nothing to lose, basically.
yeah, and traumatic past and all that. And we get a little bit with him. Then we get the big showdown of the movie, kind of. I say kind of because this is what I was talking about with how clever the climax of this movie really is, because it's not about punches or kicks, literally. Like, because the Thunderbolts, all the other Thunderbolts, go into the void because they see that Yelena went in there. They find each other in this lab room, kind of experimental room, where they see the void in there, and Bob tries to confront the void, his alter ego, and they have a little fight. And it reminded me of video game nerd, come at me, Dark Link.
Oh yeah.
Link and Dark Link from Zelda 2.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Okay, interesting.
I completely see that. Yeah.
He's fighting, basically a fist fight with the void, and they're realizing it's not like the darkness fighting the darkness. Like, the violence is not solving it.
Yeah,
they
literally
love to solve it.
Yeah, Bob is literally pounding the void, his darkness into the ground, and he's like, "Is that all you got?" Like, literally, the movie is all about how fighting it does not solve the problem, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. And the only way that they end this struggle, that they end this whole nightmare,
With Together in Love.
it reminded me of Inside Out 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I've
and
seen
how
a few
they
people say
and
that,
how
yeah.
they
I can totally
they-
see that.
they save the day in that movie, where they embrace the darkness rather than fight it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was absolutely beautiful. And it was just really well done.
It was.
And
Always a puddle.
Louis Pullman's acting in that film is brilliant.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
absolutely great in that
it
scene.
was fantastic.
Then that's pretty much how the climax is solved. They just embrace each other. It doesn't, and I really hate. There was a group of guys behind me who were really annoying me. Because I feel like it seemed like they were in like a podcast of their own too, which was kind of weird, because the way they were talking, it was like they were obviously like big movie nerds.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like they weren't getting the movie, because they were like, man, why are they doing all this psychology shit? We just want to see superheroes do superhero shit. It was like, oh, you just don't fucking get it, do you?
There's a different types of comic movies, guys.
I
Come
don't
on.
need, literally, it would have been so boring if this movie would have just ended in like how the Marvels ended, or any of the Avengers movies end. It would have been so boring if they went that route, but they didn't.
A really well-regarded movie. How would the Batman have been different if it was just ending with him and Riddler in a fist fight? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, it ends in a fight, but not the predictable fight,
Right, yeah.
It's not about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it sort of almost feels like that editor that watched Doom Part 2 that was half asleep said, "Oh, I have to see this movie at 5 o'clock in the morning." And
Yeah.
that's like the worst review of all time.
I mean,
guys.
and that also plays into what I was saying about how some people see the climax of this movie as anticlimactic, and I just don't agree. It's a different kind of. Is the ending of Doctor Strange anticlimactic because it doesn't have Doctor Strange, doing a bunch of like spells and fighting Dormammu literally?
Right.
Like, isn't it more interesting that he doesn't do it that way?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems really weird to me that that's that for some people that's an issue. It's way more interesting.
Yeah, I
Because,
don't get it.
You know what? It kind of reminded me, this movie, in terms of like, I'm not saying they're kind of similar, but like I'm talking like the themes that both these movies are going for, because they kind of tackle similar ones. This movie kind of does what Ang Lee's Hulk was trying to do, because that movie, Ang Lee's Hulk, was also about, mental trauma, mental illness, dealing with
Family
your demons.
struggles.
I've
But-
not watched that in so
But
long.
Ang Lee's Hulk got so weird with it to the point where it's like, I don't even know what you're going with here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I was watching
And
the
this
Australia
movie
for
for
today.
me, this movie, because if you remember, Ang Lee's Hulk basically ends
I
with
don't
him.
remember anything.
Ang Lee's Hulk basically ends with him. It ends with him fighting his dad, who becomes the Absorbing Man,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it
yeah.
ends with a weird thing where like it goes into their memories, and it's so goddamn weird. I like that movie. I actually do like that movie, but
I need to
it's
rewatch
it.
really
Okay.
weird. This movie does kind of like something like that, but it makes more sense, I'd say. Like you can actually follow what's going on here, but it's still doing that psychological battle over like the more physical one.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I much more appreciate stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how the climax ends. They save New York. Bob is back to his normal self. And then the movie basically ends almost immediately after that. Like they see Val, and she surprises everyone because now the Thunderbolts are the new Avengers, basically.
Yep. Government sponsored, essentially.
And
Yeah.
I think that's where the asterisk comes from,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Because
Yeah.
It
now, it's like subject to change.
And you called that.
Might be the new Avengers. So.
I said, okay, all right, yeah. I want to say something. I didn't say shit, but yesterday as I was driving to the theater, because before I was like, okay, it's either gonna they're gonna reveal that it's gonna be like a subtitle where it's like some assembly required because they're gonna be like the new Avengers or something, or it's going to change to the Dark Avengers or something like that.
Mm.
As I was driving to the theater yesterday, I was like, oh motherfucker, it's gonna end up being the new Avengers. I was like, that's what the entire asterisk. And I meant to shoot you a text like right before.
But you've been saying for weeks it had something to do with the new Avengers.
Yeah, I knew that's what it was gonna be
Yeah.
because it just made the most sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I've been complaining that I really don't know who the Avengers right now are.
Well, now
This
you know.
movie kind of fixes that.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah.
That's kind of nice. Like, at least I know who the main players are.
And you know what?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
okay
Wait,
with
and-
that.
In that cast video for Doomsday, I can't remember. Was any of the cast of this movie on those?
Everybody
Almost
was
everybody
but
was there. Yeah.
Taskmaster.
It was basically
So
everybody
Florence
except for
Pugh,
Taskmaster.
Florence Pugh,
Yeah,
David
they've
Hart.
all- yeah.
They were all there. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the Fantastic Four are there, right?
All of
Fantastic.
them. Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
even what's his name? The guy
Yvonne?
who plays Johnny Storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joseph Quinn.
Oh, yeah,
he was,
yeah, he's
he was
in
there
there.
too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only one that was announced, which was a mistake on their part, was Taskmaster.
Yeah. They should have revealed less.
Well, now
During
we
the
don't really
Taskmaster
have to
video.
think about Taskmaster again. So
Yeah. Yeah. that's
I
fair.
would much prefer it that way. Like we can forget that ever happened, because honestly, I don't think anyone was very happy with that version of
I was
Taskmaster.
all right
Like,
with it.
Apparently, we are getting the second. It's a two-part cast announcement. Apparently, we're getting the second line of like 20 or 30 at either Comic-Con or
because
D23.
I was like, there's no way that's all the.
No.
Oh
because
no, there's
I-
no
I-
way. Yeah.
I think
They
I think
said
it's
there's gonna be
pretty
like
safe-
60 superhero movies.
it's
Yeah.
pretty safe to assume Do we think Tom Holland is going to be in
Tom
this
Holland's
movie?
not going to be in it.
Okay.
I think it's going to be like Ant-Man the Wasp, where Brand New Day is happening concurrently during the events of Doomsday.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because everything released between Doomsday and Secret Wars takes place in Battle World.
Which
Yeah.
is going to be insane.
I
it's gonna
am
be
surprised you don't think Tom
It's gonna
Holland's
be
going to be
interesting
in
at
it.
the minute.
No, he's not going to be.
I mean, they've talked a lot about how he's not going to be in it.
Yeah, they've talked about it.
Yeah.
But why though? That's weird.
Because no one knows who he is at this point in time. So
His movie is going to be taking place at the same time exactly as Doomsday.
That is true because Brand New Day does come out in July of
And
2026.
No, I'm saying like the events
Yeah.
of the movie are taking place at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Like like Ant-Man and the Wasp took place at the same time as Infinity War. The post-credit
Yeah.
scenes were the same of
Exactly.
them disappearing.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's gonna be so the post-credit scene of Doomsday is probably gonna be very similar to what the post-credit scene of Brand New.
Okay, I should say if you're saying Tom Holland is going to die in the movie, I'm like, no,
he's not gonna be in it at all.
They already did that though. That'd be so stupid if
It
they
would be.
killed him again because you already kind of did.
No,
But
if any
yeah.
Spider-Man is gonna die, it's gonna be Tobey Maguire.
yes,
Yeah.
that
I
will
don't know.
happen in
I don't know if
Secret
I'd be
Wars.
okay with that though. I'm not
It's
sure.
gonna happen.
I'm not sure.
They
I'd be
already
okay
kind of
with that.
teased you with it in No Way Home.
They did,
though.
yeah.
Like
He's dying.
Okay, yeah, true.
He's going to
Even
be
though
a
that,
little-
even though that, even though
He's
that
gonna be a
film,
little
that, even though
woozy.
that movie is awesome.
um
I'm feeling a little woozy here.
so yeah, that's basically the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Now we can get to the post-credit stuff.
Which was
Let's get to the
fantastic.
let's get to the first one first.
Yeah,
This
get
one,
that
the
out of
first
the way.
one's just a funny one.
Yeah.
David, Alexi, yeah.
I'm on the Wheaties box.
It's in the grocery store. Alexi's talking to a random woman, and he's like, "Hey, great! You see they put them on the Wheaties box," and he does that thing, and she doesn't
and she's
know.
walking, and she's like,
Yeah, that was great.
yeah. Thank you.
Now, I did hear that the Russo brothers did direct the
Yes.
post-credit scene.
Yes.
Did they,
Really?
Directed on the set of Doomsday.
now? Did they didn't direct the first one?
No,
did
the
they?
second one.
Okay,
Yeah, it
That's really
was, they did it on
cool.
the set of Doomsday.
That's awesome.
so they're not playing around anymore. Like
No.
Oh no.
because they've already started shooting, haven't
Yes,
they?
they
Yeah.
have.
Okay.
They started like
We've already gotten set pics and stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's almost been like a month.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
I haven't seen any.
I-
yet, so.
I have seen. I don't know if a lot of people are saying they're AI. I'm not sure. Like the set pics of Ian McKellen and James Marsden on the set because Magneto,
They've
all
been
the.
confirmed and everything. Yeah.
Okay, I figured.
Well,
It's
no,
like-
not the pictures, but they've been fully confirmed, so it could be more.
I'm sure
possible,
that I'm
but-
sure they're real. Like everyone tried to convince people that the set pics, the pictures of the 3 Spider-Men were not
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
We all know how that fucking happened. So like
It's Photoshop.
if-
I don't know.
if something is leaked, it's probably a real leak. Like
Unless it's Lobo, because that was apparently AI.
yeah, that
we
yeah,
just don't know what
true.
to do at this point.
We don't know what's real and what's not anymore.
But yeah,
But
so
yeah,
I don't
but
look at any of
but
it.
yeah,
the new Avengers are chilling in the tower.
Avengers.
got a new fit.
Avengers
with
with
a
a
Z.
Z.
Yes.
Which is good.
the costume.
How do we-
The costume was lame though. The
What-
costume was very lame.
What-
That was a throwback to Fantastic Four as a Silver Surfer.
Yes, yeah.
Oh
Which
God.
whose costume?
Oh God.
Johnny in 2005 when he first rolls.
2007.
Or
It was
what?
Silver Surfer, where he rolls up with all the logos on the.
No,
Oh.
that's 2005.
No, it's 2007.
No, it's
I-
when he
it
goes
do-
to.
No,
I
it's
know
at
what
the
you're
beginning-
I know what you're
2007. What do you have against capitalism? That was the beginning
Oh,
of Rise of
okay,
Silver
I
Surfer.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what that was supposed to be. Yeah.
How do we feel about Bucky's new suit?
It's
I
short.
It's-
think it
it's
looks
weird.
interesting.
I'm not
He's got a new
I'm not
arm.
sure how I feel about it. I might warm up to it in Doomsday.
Well,
but
That's
it
true.
looks
like-
stealthy.
Up to this point, he's been so tactical, and every
Mhm.
fit that he's done, either he's been tactical or he's been he was just fucking thrown into it.
I,
So with this movie, he spent most of it in a t-shirt.
I'm always gonna prefer how he looked in Winter Soldier, like that metal arm
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Just that's Winter Soldier to me.
Yeah.
Well, this one,
Um,
it just feels like it's very sponsored. It's
Yeah.
a lot of the speculation around not to compare it to DC, but a lot of speculation around DCEU is the reason why Hawkgirl's costume looks the way that it is.
They're sponsored by Maxwell Lord.
because they're sponsored by Maxwell Lord. So the new costumes here are kind of the same thing.
Oh, so
where it doesn't
okay.
really look like something that they would wear. It was just supplied to them. It's like a
Right.
costuming department showed up. I was like, this is what you wear.
hmm
Val had something
That's
to do
what
with
I
it.
get from it. It doesn't seem like something they would.
and that's
actually
why
wear.
Guy Gardner's wearing something like that. Too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll get one more quick thing, and then we'll get to the scores.
Well, we didn't talk about the post-credit scene.
No,
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we
still
did.
have
Oh,
more
I
to talk
thought
about.
we did talk about the post
No,
credits.
we talked about
we
the-
didn't talk about the
The
very
ending?
ending of it. With the
The
The one that
with
really
the shi-
excited me.
with the
man.
ship
Oh.
with the ship coming through space and the ship turns around, big 4 on it. So, and that's another thing that really annoyed me about the guys behind me. It was like when that popped up, it was like, we know the Fantastic Four are going to be in it. I was like, that's not the point of what they're showing here.
No, it's not.
We already, yes, we know the Fantastic Four are going to be in it, but it's connecting to the universe like Marvel used to do.
Yeah.
I guess
It's like,
this means the rumors are more than likely true. At the end of Fantastic Four, they cross into the main MCU,
Yeah.
their universe
Chris-
gets destroyed or something.
and Chris Pratt greets them, is the rumor. Since Chris Pratt's now on Earth, living with his grandpa, I guess Chris Pratt's the one to show him around Earth now. That's like the rumor that's going on.
Wow, that's
That'd
crazy.
be interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
That's like a hot rumor right now.
Hmm.
Huh. I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't know why. I mean, he's kind of.
Take it
I
with a
mean,
grain of
Star
salt,
Lord.
but-
Yeah.
yeah.
It just it seems a little weird to me because Star Lord doesn't seem like that's his thing now. Like he's just taking a break and living his life. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if
Well, they did
He's
say
gonna
that
get
he's going
thrown
to
back into it in
return. Yeah,
Doomsday.
yeah,
Right.
he's coming back.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Just, like they have to rope him back somehow. So I
Yeah.
I
Doomsday
would
or Secret
understand
Wars,
it on
he's coming
that
back.
end.
One of them.
But I just I feel like the Fantastic Four they're probably going to land in New York.
Yeah.
yeah
I don't see unless
they're gonna
they
meet.
built a faulty rocket ship.
They're
I
gonna
don't see
meet
that-
with this
like that at
group
that point.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that make more.
Yeah,
the most
because they were
sense.
prepping up the Quinjet at the very end
Yeah.
to go up and see what was going on in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't
It-
know,
it-
it's gonna be interesting.
I hate that what those guys behind me were saying. It's like we already know Fantastic Four. That's not the goddamn point. Yes,
Yeah.
we know, but they're leading us. They're building out the story now of how everything is connecting,
yeah,
and
yeah.
this post-credit scene actually is leading up to what we're about to see.
Hmm.
That's the point of it, you fucking idiots.
they must have not watched a lot of movies.
The post
And the Fantastic Four
It's not
trailer
thinking.
played before this movie.
the post-credit scenes were
Wow.
usually the building blocks to connect the movies together at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Goofballs, come on.
It's like, I don't know. I hate that. I hate that stupid ass. I hate what those guys behind me said. That really
Yeah.
pissed me off. It's like you guys are.
They should stop going to movies. They
like-
should stop.
And they seemed like they were cackling, but not in like they were cackling at the movie, not with the movie.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
I guess they just didn't like it. It was like, I don't know. You guys are just kind of buzzkills, really.
There's a bunch of ooga
Because
boogas.
everyone else seemed like they were really enjoying the movie, like I was, and then
Yeah.
these jackasses.
Well, who
behind me.
knows? Maybe they're the same people that thought Kraven the Hunter was good.
Oh, like you?
Yeah, like you. But anyway,
no, I think you've already. I think you've said that you don't think it's good, but you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay. I can roll with that at least.
Yeah.
whatever.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about the movie.
Yeah.
It's
But
really
anyway,
good.
but I was gonna.
Marvel. This is another Marvel hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they needed this after
Absolutely.
Brave New
But what I
World.
was going to say, which I apologize that we didn't talk about the second part until we did this now. My anticipation for the new Avengers movie got higher in terms of my rankings of my most anticipated film 2026. So it went from I am excited for it to really excited for it. It's probably make my top
Is,
two anticipated films probably.
Yeah.
So now I'm really excited.
So
for
was Fantastic Four the last movie before Doomsday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
it.
Right.
I know.
Because
That's what I was thinking the entire drive home last night.
they've got a couple TV shows before.
But none of them
Yeah.
are really going to connect to.
No, probably not.
Wonder Man is-
Ironheart's not going to connect to it. Come
Wonder
on.
Man is apparently appearing in Doomsday. That's one of the unannounced cast members.
Okay.
I don't know.
Which I still don't know who he is. I
don't-
saw the
I don't
teaser
know
a little
either.
bit of Wonder Man, and I was like,
Daredevil.
He's
who?
like an OG Avenger.
Yeah, Daredevil's
From the
apparently appearing
comics.
too.
Was he really?
yeah.
Wow.
But he's not on that chair video,
No,
is
they're
he?
doing a second video either at Comic-Con or D23.
I feel like he's more likely
It's going to
to.
be 7 hours.
I feel like
this
he's
time.
more likely to turn up in Secret Wars.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
get
more-
what they're trying to do with that strategy of the whole hours thing, but do we have to sit through the
But,
entire 3 hours of this or something? Come on.
Yeah, between Fantastic Four and Doomsday, we have Ironheart
Ironheart.
comes out next month.
Mm.
We have Eyes of Wakanda, the animated series. I don't know if they'll connect at all.
No, I don't
No,
think
I
it
doubt
will.
it.
Marvel Zombies is definitely not connecting.
No.
Absolutely.
It'll connect to Secret Wars. But...
Wonder Man, and then
Maybe
Daredevil
not.
season 2 are what's coming out in between.
Could Daredevil be in the Avengers
We just
movie?
talked about that.
Yeah,
Were
yeah.
you not listening?
Sure. Yeah, Charlie Cox, I think will appear because he already has appeared in one of these movies. So,
Yeah. We just don't know if it's going to be Doomsday or Secret Wars where he appears.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
if this movie is a hit, as of right now, it's a hit. If Fantastic Four is a hit, which I think it will be,
Absolutely.
I think the level of interest in positive feelings about Doomsday are going to be much higher than they were, because before this movie came out, I feel like it wasn't really there. But if they can nail Fantastic Four, which I think they will,
Yeah.
Doomsday I think is going to be just fine. Like
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
final question before we
it
get
just well, the only thing I'm concerned about Doomsday is how they're tying in all the X-Men shit with this, because that's my biggest question. Was like,
Well,
is it just the Fox universe, this incursion stuff?
No, I think that it's going to tie into the post-credit scene of
Marvels.
the Marvels. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to
Oh,
help answer
yeah.
that question.
Yeah.
Because that's Kelsey Grammer
Yes.
did the
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I forgot Kelsey Grammer did that.
I know Kelsey Grammer's older now. I just wish he would go back to the makeup that he did in X-Men
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
which that makeup was incredible.
It was. Yes.
I mean, the design is okay, a beast in that post-credit scene, but I would much rather him just going back to the makeup.
Kelsey Grim was the best part of X3.
Yeah, easily.
Final question before we get to our star ratings. Do we feel Doomsday is going to do, as of right now, is it going to do Avengers 1 and 2 numbers or Infinity War Endgame numbers?
I feel like it's nowhere near as it going to reach Infinity War Endgame. It's just not. There's not that these movies don't. That movie doesn't have the buildup that Infinity War and Endgame had. It
True.
just doesn't. Maybe I'd say Avengers Age of Ultron levels.
I'm guessing like a 1.7-ish million.
I'm not
million?
sure. Like
1.7, 1.6. Something like that.
I'll need to see a trailer. I'll need to see a little bit of footage before I make that kind of determination. Because at this point, I mean, Marvel still is still trying to pick up its slack.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four
So
still needs to be a success first. What do you guys think?
exactly.
Do you have any guesses as of right now?
I think it's going to reach for me the $2 billion mark.
I don't think so.
I think it will
really
because
don't.
when you have all these superheroes and this
But
is
they're-
like
But
the bigger
it doesn't-
event and
It
But
doesn't have the build up.
without the buildup that Infinity War did,
I'm
where
with
it
the
was-
build up, I think it will.
It doesn't have
but
the
it
build-up,
it
though.
doesn't have that because
It has
that
Not
movie,
yet, but not
that
yet.
movie
but
doesn't comes out next year. They don't
Yeah.
have the time, and they have one more
There's like
movie.
2 movies that have built it up. I'm guessing
Deadpool-
it's going to do about a 1.7.
Deadpool, I feel like Deadpool and Wolverine definitely will get the interest up because obviously it has a lot of Fox characters
Yeah.
in the MCU. I feel like it'll do closer to Deadpool and Wolverine level numbers
Okay.
because, and that movie was rated R.
Yeah.
So, and this obviously it's going to be PG-13.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it'll Doomsday if it's good. That's the big question. If it's actually good, that's the that's the determining factor here. Like if it's bad, then I feel like 2 billion or even 1.5 is out of the question.
Yeah.
If people come out of that movie not liking it or hating it, it's not
Dead in the
good.
water,
It's-
yeah.
And the hype will even be the level of disinterest will be even worse for Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So Doomsday needs to be good. Fantastic Four needs to be good, and that will determine the level of success. If it can reach the level that the 2012 Avengers did.
Yeah.
But we don't
'Cause
know
that did like 1.4. I think.
because we don't know yet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of determining factors here that we
I-
just don't have.
I think that if it's good, I think it's going to be somewhere in between Age of Ultron and Infinity War. Like you said,
1.7. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it doesn't have the build-up that we're talking about,
Yeah.
but I think that if it's good enough, it's also going to be able to ride the nostalgia wave that's going to
Yeah,
come
because
from seeing all the
Deadpool
legacy
and Wolverine
characters.
did.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, with Hugh Jackman. Now, we still don't know if Hugh Jackman's going to be in Doomsday, which
Probably
Hon-
will be.
honestly, yeah, like all the other X-Men are there.
yeah,
like
might as well.
yeah, just to have him in there.
Yeah.
And is Halle Berry as
I
Storm
think that's
is
one of the ones that's unannounced.
I-
but yeah.
That'd be
like
cool.
if you're gonna have James Marsden there,
Yeah, you
Famke,
gotta go
has
for...
Famke Jensen.
She's one of the ones that apparently is unannounced that they're announcing too.
Yeah. You gotta have. If you have all these other characters from those movies,
You have to go hard.
you gotta have Halle Berry in there. You gotta have
Yes,
Famke. You gotta have Hugh
Uh,
Jackman.
With Deadpool and Wolverine, since Logan lost all his X-Men, there could be a really emotional moment where he finds a new family.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Because Logan died.
Yeah, and they did play around with it a little bit, not with Wolverine, but they played around a little bit with it when it came to Black Widow and What If.
Yeah.
They had a Black Widow reunite with a team that lost theirs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was pretty cool.
I think What If will definitely come into play before Secret Wars.
Oh, there's no way. I'm pretty sure that's going to be. I don't think that's going to be the same Agent Carter because of the way that season 3 ended. But I think that we're going to get Goddess of the Storms, like the Storm who is worthy. I think that we're going to get that entire team lineup in Doomsday / Secret Wars for sure.
What do you guys have for a star rating?
I'm gonna go 8 out of 10 with this.
Okay. 10 out of 10. Loved it.
9 out of 10.
Okay. I'm trying not to give perfect ratings anymore, but this is a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, it was really good. I really liked it.
For the emotional impact it had on me.
Yeah.
It's a 5 out of 5.
It was done really well.
And yeah, really good. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It definitely got my excitement level for Marvel back up a little bit. I'm still, if Fantastic Four is good, then I'll say, yeah, I'm excited for what they got coming up next, but we'll just have to see.
Yep.
And one last thing before we end up, I've seen a lot of people on social media who love the movie saying that this group of the Thunderbolts group is better than the OG Avengers. I'm like,
No.
are you kidding me?
No.
Like, I'm legit seeing this everywhere. I legit saw this weekend, like a bunch of posts like that. I was like, oh my God, get your recency bias out of your mouth. God.
Wow. That's a
That's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, Twitter. We're most active on Twitter and Facebook. We have lots of stuff coming up. We're doing a live reaction to Superman 4. We got our Andor review for season 2.
which we are planning to do our Superman live reaction on May 25th, if I'm not mistaken. So mark your calendars for May 25th, where we're going to be lapping our butts off with this movie.
We're also doing our review of Mission Impossible that day.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
So excited.
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
God bless.
Next week.
We have been the Cinema Asylum Podcast. You guys were awesome. Thanks for coming out. Good night.